What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Popular by.
You get, come, K.
K. We gotta do it again. We gotta do it again. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black by Popular Demand. We got your boy Steve. What's up, Steve?
Steve.
We got your boy. We got your boy Billy. What's up, Bill?
Billy. Call me Blowstacks because that's easier to follow on Twitter.
What's up? And you got your one and only Nev Santana, your host. What's going on, guys?
All right.
What's up, man? It's a beautiful day. Let's go.
I'm currently in upstate New York with a bunch of friends, just kicking it right now. We just chilling, beautiful.
Let's go. I'm down here on the south side of Chicago. I don't hear any gunshots. It's a good day. Let's go.
And Steve, how you living over there?
I'm not telling anybody where I'm at. I don't want people coming for me. Like I'm all right.
Oh man! So today we got a pretty serious topic. This is a heavy topic, especially with what's been going on recently. The topic is police brutality, especially in the Black community. And so there's so many different ways that we could dive in and go into everything. But the first question I have is, how do you guys feel? What are your thoughts about what's been going on recently in terms of police brutality in America?
I think it's the same thing that's been happening for a long time. We just have cameras to see it. Nothing new. It's just a continuance of what it is. I think it's a result of over policing, of wanting to fulfill quotas, of, to be honest with you, the strength of police unions, politicians who need police unions to get elected. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of layers, right? I mean, you don't even have to say police brutality. You could just say policing, right? Because it's brutal, right? The policing has been brutal. And I think it's not necessarily only unique to right now, you know? Like, I don't know if you remember, there was a show highly rated on Fox, of course, called Cops, where they were just beating up mofos on a regular basis, you know? So policing is always, it's swinging too far. You know, you got a lot of guys in there who, you know, maybe just a little, got some pent up aggression. I don't know towards who. I mean, and I like to think I'm better than them, but shit, what would I do? I probably slap the shit out of a meth head once or twice, you know? But obviously what's going on in the Black community is targeted. It's a, you know, we could get into that. It's laws, it's a system, it's for-profit prisons. Steve, you hit on so many topics, like, but you know, it's a money machine full of angry white guys. So that's kind of fucked up. Excuse me.
How did we get here, man? How did we get here? I mean, it's to a point where a lot of communities, like you said, Steve, they're over police, right? A lot of people are getting pulled aside for, you see how many people that are getting pulled aside for marijuana usage, and they're obviously in prison right now. But now marijuana is a huge billion-dollar industry right now. And people are, I mean, now specifically white people are taking advantage of the industry, and a lot of Black people are in prison because of it. The question is, how do we even get to this point where we have a police shooting, we have a verdict happen for what happened with George Floyd, and then right after that, Malika Bryant, gets shot and killed right after that. How do we get to this where we're having so many of these killings happening on a consistent basis?
Well, I think one may not necessarily have to do with the other, right? Like in terms of the over policing for marijuana and the war on drugs, like we're not hearing about these shootings in the midst of, breaking up a cartel or like even corner boys. Like these are not crimes being committed. More often than not, it's just profiling, traffic stops, serving warrants in somebody's home. Come on, you come into my house and serve me? What if your credit card came to your house and knocked in the door for the money you owed them, Officer O'Reilly? I feel like we got to figure out where the line is and how we're going to treat other people in this society, because we all playing this game, right? Don't get me started on capitalism, but it's a game. It's Monopoly. You learn it at age 8, right? The only difference is in a real life Monopoly, you might get a slug in your ass if you can't bail out. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a corrupt system. So, how we got here, I think we started here.
And I agree. I think we've always been here. It might sound cynical, but the reality of the matter is that the only difference now is more people have access to more information. Like with the advent of social media, we're able to share this news faster. Like in the when Juneteenth, right? Slaves had been freed for so long, but it wasn't until like months later that they found out that they were free. Like I think at this point in time is we just have access to more information quicker.
I want to clarify one thing. I said it's a bunch of angry white guys. I think there's black, white, and then there's blue. To a certain degree, the blue supersedes the black or the white.
Billy, say that again. Let's just cut it and say that again so we can cut because it timed out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify this. I said a bunch of angry white guys, and I think it actually it's a bunch of angry blue guys, right? Because I think there's black, there's white, and then there's the blue, and the blue supersedes the black or white. That's one of the best and brightest gangs of the 20th and 21st century.
Yeah, I think that's how they operate. They operate off of gang mentality. You always hear it's us, like they're coming to get us, so I gotta defend myself. It's us versus them. The problem with it too is that what is policing? Is it truly community safety? No, or is it? Oh, are you perps? I don't know if they still use the word perpetrators. Like, or is it? We defend against whoever, whenever, whatever, at all times. Like, and also I think another thing into it too is who are these cops? A lot of them probably won't have much education. They're ex-military, right? Ex-military who possibly have PTSD or who have not got outside of that military mindset. They've taken that military training and use that into what they think is policing, and they have that rough, rugged thing to it.
So how do we get around that? How do we?
Can't. We're screwed. We can't. We're screwed.
So there's no way.
Robots.
There's no way for us to go ahead and figure out like a revamp of the way that they're doing policing in these communities.
So I think that there are ways to improve the system a little better, but I think the whole concept of police is flawed and terrible because it is born out of what is slave catching, right? So like the whole pretense is we need to get this person, bag them away, da da da. So it's like if you have a system, you have to feed the system. So everybody's just praying. We're screwed. That's all we are. We're screwed. We're screwed.
And I think you're right? Like, I mean, but you got to police the society, right? There's gonna be miscreants, right? We got too many freedoms, right? In a country like the United States of America that thrives on freedom, the thing about freedom, right, and tools is that they can be used in the wrong way. They can be used negligently, they can be used maliciously. There's all of these things that happen. And granted, right, it's the outliers. 90% of people, aren't, carrying a gun into Walmart every day. I mean, it depends on what neighborhood in Alabama you're in or Chicago, right? But it's just not happening. So you got to have somebody to police them. The problem is, like you said, Steve, there's this whole other side of America that we really don't talk. Well, we do talk about it now, which I'm very thankful for. And that is America's original sin of slavery. So you have this like embedded mentality, that Blacks and Latinos, I mean, I wish I could throw Asians in there, but they not really, getting whooped on. Like, I guess maybe by people, but not the police.
I think
are easy prey,
And Nev, to go back to your original question, I think it's tough to reform because of the police unions. Because the police unions are for the police. They're not doing what's best for the public. They're doing what's best for the police. Like, I think not until you start to do things where you hold police accountable. So, like, think about this. You got the police review boards. Who are they composed of? More police. Like, where's the accountability? Oh, like we said before, it's a whole gang mentality, right? Mm-hmm. Gang is set up to preserve the gang, right? I think that you gotta do things where, like, if something happens with an officer, there must be an outside party who's not police at all, right? That reviews that. Then they start to impose reforms and penalties on people. I bet you this. Actually, I know how to fix it. I'm going out on a limb. Every time there's an issue, you start taking the money from the cops' pensions. You take it from the pensions. I promise you that they're not going to shoot their guns no more. They're going to be like, whoa. It's coming out of my pocket. Take it out their paycheck. Like, start finding them for bad tickets and all that. It's going to change. Like, when they feel it from their pocket, they'll know.
What do you think about the whole concept about abolishing the police?
I don't think
terrible idea.
I don't think it's practical.
Not around here, Jack. I will move. I need the police. Police are important to me. I'm just saying, like, we gotta acknowledge a couple of things, right? There is a bad element in society, right? And there are outside elements who want to get into our society to do bad and destabilize our society for their own good, And these are national interests, right? But at a base level, it's just, shitheads in America who just are not the most respectful of other people and the fabric of what we do. So you got to have somebody to police that. What you need to do is remove a lot of the biases. And in some cases, just the fear, people haven't been in these situations and they get shook. They look at it's the fear of a Black man is what you're seeing a lot, right? I'm already leery of this person because I don't know them. I feel as though I cannot relate, right? There's this whole back of my mind thing about how the Black man is a brute and is gonna, savage. All of this shit goes on people. So,
but I got a question about.
I'm gonna rant, so you gotta cut me off.
I got something for you guys. When it comes to police brutality, that idea of the fear of a Black man, right? Do you believe this is maybe going off topic, but I believe it's within the realm? Do you believe that Hollywood plays a huge part in the effects of police brutality?
Hollywood, no. Society, yes. Society influences Hollywood, and that portrays it. I think it's beyond. I think Hollywood is minuscule.
It's a byproduct.
It's a byproduct of that.
Okay.
I think it is a societal thing. What happens is we have these we have these innate things that are reinforced throughout life and that are consistent, and like it just goes across, and no one questions how we got to these points or we arrived at these places, and it just stuck around. I think It's how do you break those unconscious presuppositions and unarticulated thoughts that you always had and never articulated, right? And like how do you change the mind? Like I think that's the bigger thing.
You got to incentivize the mind, right? There's no incentive to stop doing these things, right? Like the incentive is actually to increase them. If you think about it, like you said, there's quotas that I have to hit. I have to look tough on crime. The politicians may be measuring the amount of arrests and the crime statistics. The DA wants a perfect record so he can move up and be the U.S. DA. I don't even know if that's a thing. USDA, that's well, you know what I'm saying, the U.S. attorney.
Did you
So
go from
I
DA
think
to mayor, or is that a thing?
I don't know. Whatever your
It
depends on if it's Showtime, HBO, it depends, you know. No, but I mean, I say that just to say this, right? We got to reverse the incentives. There's got to be incentive in bringing down the amount of arrests and up and rise in property values, rise, whatever the case is. We got to tie it to something that's counter to, you know, the more people we get in the system, the more money we make.
All right, so Billy and Steve, I give you a mandate. Starts tomorrow.
We don't conform to that. That's a form of brutality. That's what police do. They give you a mandate. They tell you what you got to do. That's not how it works.
Right.
And I think that's what it is too. I think that if police began in a fair exchange, a conversation with people, I think that will make things more plausible.
All right, let's take away the word mandate. Apparently, Steve doesn't like the word mandate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little Aggie. I give you a task. Is that better?
Well, first you tell the task.
I have a request. I have a request of you.
Okay, that's much better. Look at that's cooperation then.
It starts tomorrow, hopefully, if we all get on the same page. If Steve doesn't get Aggie, fix police brutality. How do you start, Billy and Steve?
I think
you take. Go ahead.
I think you find them. I think you find them and take it from their pension.
I think it's accountability. We're doing it right now. It just has to ramp up.
So what you're saying is the way things are going. Obviously, there's incidents that are happening, you know, continuously, right? And you're saying the way things are going with the accountability of these incidents that are going on is the right course that we should be taking, and there really shouldn't be too much change in terms of the accountability that's happening.
I mean, what the problem was before is there was this invisible problem, right? Let's a la Dave Chappelle, honey, they're beating up Negroes. We all remember that, right? Because it was invisible to a bulk of society. What do? You expose it, right? Now we have cell phone cameras, we have body cams, dash cams, right? Just the ability to expose more of it. So you're like, why is more of this happening than ever? And you said it, Steve, it's not that it's more, it's just much better documented, right? Now I'm like, let me see the body cam footage. Oh, shit. I didn't want to show you the body cam footage because I was in the wrong. And when I did this same thing 8 years ago, when I first joined the force, nobody found out about it, you know? So the tables are turning. We're moving in the right direction, but, you know, it's going to be incendiary. This is going to light a fire under people. And this is what the fear was all along, and it's happening. And honestly, I think society is doing a pretty good job of keeping it together because it could be a lot worse.
Okay. These incidents that have been happening, the George Floyd situation with the verdict that happened just recently, Malika Bryant, I could name numerous other individuals that have died at the hands of the police, especially Black individuals. What does that do to the Black community on a whole?
Hopefully galvanize. Hopefully it brings the Black community together. You know, it's kind of the old thing, like this has been happening. We've known this uncle of ours was creepy. We knew this landlord of ours was extorting us, but nobody else knew. Now everybody knows. So I think this should be a galvanizing moment.
I think it depends. I think at this point, it either reinforce it reinforces whatever you believe to be true. If you're optimistic, you'll see certain things, and it'll like, okay, we're moving forward. If you're pessimistic, it's like, oh look, this is more of the same. I think whatever you already believe is going to stay true to you.
Um, what does this? What role does police brutality play in a greater conversation of racism?
It's the brutal role, right? Because racism takes on a lot of different, faces. Some of it's more subtle, some of it's more complex, but police brutality is one of the more brutal ones. This is the one that's it's easier to understand, but harder to watch. And if you're going to get to the root of it, you got to do the hard work first. And this is some of the hardest work.
Can I want to dive in there. What does that hard work look like?
Looking at the screen, not turning a blind eye, not sitting. Like, this is a moment where silence is and is not productive, right? If you quiet about this, you're on the other side, right? This is just where society. I believe in something called, this is gonna sound weird, Christ consciousness. I think we all need to evolve and slowly reach this level of betterment in our society. And there's a word I'm looking for, altruism. It's got to start to trump things, and it's not right now. It's really not, and the society's not set up for that. And the police protect and serve the asset holders in said society, who, because of another ugly face of racism, have been given an unfair advantage. So it's really, we got to start at the bottom and work our way up, and this is the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Don, Steve?
Repeat the question.
Great question. I actually forgot the question myself.
I think the question was.
I know. Look, that's because I'm ranting. I'm over here going down.
No. I think the question was, how does police brutality play into the larger concept of the larger prospect of racism?
Yeah, racism. Yeah.
I think another portion of it is the fact that the police oftentimes are not from the community that they go and serve, right? So they see those people as just perpetrators or just beings, right? They have these preconceived ideas. Like, if you have a white guy from Kansas and you stick him in Brooklyn, in the hood, he will not be able to relate to those people. I think that what needs to start happening is police should be required to live in the area that they patrol. I think they need to start bringing back walking beats, where you get out the car and you got to walk around the community so people know who you are. Because if you know who people are as people, your approach to them will be different, because you know what their triggers are, who this is that, and then you can fight crime. Like, I'm not saying that crime doesn't happen. I'm not going to say that, but I think that when you are able to, when you're a part of that community, it's easier for you to identify what that is. It's not a us versus them mindset. It's a us mindset.
What about the people that would say that if you do that, if you have people go into a community and assimilate or acclimate with the community, that they would start to turn a blind eye to more crime?
Then tell them to shut up, because they don't know what they're talking about.
Good. I think the crimes that people are turning blind eyes to
are not real crimes.
Maybe we need to think about that. Like, that's actually not big enough. Yeah, nobody's hurt, but I think too, like, it's two different. I think we think of police sometimes in the idea of a major metro, because you, like, especially in New York, you can police Harlem and not live in Harlem, but I think if you're in, maybe, I don't know, Knoxville, maybe it's the other problem. Maybe the other problem is, I got some scores I needed to settle with these guys, and now that I'm the police, guess who's laughing at who? Guess who's, so you got two different sides, but I totally agree. Totally agree.
So think about it this way, right? When you look at, like, the big cities versus, like, the rural areas, The big difference is people know who the sheriff is. They probably went to school with the sheriff. They go to church with the sheriff. Like, they know his kid, they know that kids. So like that structure is there, right? Like, and look what they do. Like they're able to direct where the funds go. You know, like what role the police serve, right? Like why does a traffic stop? Why do you need a gun in a traffic stop? Like, give me a ticket and keep it pushing. You know,
I have a question. It might be ignorant, but I need to know. Is there like a police union in Chattanooga, Tennessee? Do they have a police union, or is it just the cops?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's like, because every business isn't unionized, but it's like if you join the police force, are you mandated to unionize? Like, does every police force have a union, or is there just one national organization?
No, so they vary by locality.
Mm. Okay. Just wanted to know. The reason I say that is because, like, I feel like the more layers you have between the feet on the ground and the legislation that directs and the directives that direct those feet on the ground, the more chances you have for influences that don't really represent the people to come into play, right? It's individual interests, industrial, commercial interests that start to infiltrate it, right? I need you to over-police right here because I have a project that I'm doing, and I need these guys to close down this community garden or whatever it could be, right? I need to change and disrupt the way this part of the neighborhood is so that my own special interests can do well. So, and I feel like the unions have a hand in that.
I was going to say, it seems that you both are in agreement with the fact that we need to have people within the community policing their own community.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we need to also have independent people who are not police have oversight of the police, like true independent boards.
How would you go about electing these people?
How would I go about volunteers first? I want to know who wants to do this, and then from there, if there's a glut of people that want to do it, maybe you hold some sort of election, but nobody's going to show up to vote for that election. That's going to be, we lost Steve.
We lost Steve.
I'm still here. I had blown my nose.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to electing these people that might go on an independent board, the problem is so often the people who might be most impacted by that are not represented there. And the voters, like the people that's voting on it. I mean, people don't show up to midterm elections to determine their congressman. They definitely, I'm guilty of this too. When I see the judges on the ballot, I'm like, this guy or this guy, I don't know. So like we're asking a lot of people to like, vet out everyone, right? That's tough,
Next question I have, we're kind of shifting gears a little bit. Police brutality, how does it affect you guys personally?
How does police brutality affect me personally?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't go outside, so I haven't seen police in a long time.
I've never been brutalized, but I've been set up by the police for sure.
I mean, younger me, I've had my altercations with police, but
yeah, right.
My present moment, I don't leave my apartment, so I don't see police at all.
When you see a cop, like Steve, you haven't seen a cop in a long time, but like if you were to see a cop, like you went to like say Wendy's or something like that, right, and you got pulled over, like what would go through your mind? Do you think?
Oh, me personally, if I got pulled over, it depends, right? If I got pulled over, and that means that I probably was speeding. Because I do a lot of illegal things on the road. I can dry snitch on myself. If I got pulled over, I'm like this and that. if I were to get pulled over, I wouldn't be worried because I know all my tags are legit. Um, like when I drive, I always make the conscious effort. So if I were to get pulled over in a dark area, I would drive to an area that was lit up. I really wouldn't be fearful. I think that I know how to, for lack of a better term, I can code switch, and be like talk to the officer in a way whatever they need, I'll give it to them. I don't think that I'm not fearful of cops, right? But but at the same time, I know in my younger days, I lived in Brooklyn. Like I knew when I seen the police, it was get on the wall. They started to pat us down. When I was younger, I was fearful of the cops. I think one, the fact that I'm no longer in the community, that same community, that makes it a little easier for me. And two, I think it is what it is. Like if yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things you got to do to avoid getting pulled over by the cops, right? For one, the speed limit. Like, I think I'm so trained. Like my wife says to me, "You drive like an old man. Why you drive so slow?" I'm like, "Look, I want negative interaction. I don't even want a slight look. You hear what I got the police supporter stuff on my car. Come on, baby. And it's not because I'm like so super, Blue Lives Matter. I'm just like, yo, I want you to see me as a friend, not as a threat, right? Because I need to get on with my day, right? So the last thing I need to do is you remember, and Martin Lawrence had a skit, the officer pulled him over and he was like, you know what? I deserve that, officer. I needed that ticket. Please give me another one. I don't feel like doing that, but I feel like that's kind of where I'm trained to do that because I know in that situation, I do not hold the power. Even if I'm eventually acquitted of any crime and, I'm awarded a large financial sum of money because he slammed me on camera or whatever. You make money, right? So when I'll shut the fuck up and I'm going to drive the speed limit and I'm going to wear the stickers, whatever I got to do to avoid that interaction. I don't want nothing to do with y'all.
I think with that too, right? I think also my answer to how I feel is because the police in my area look like me, right? I live in PG County, Maryland, even though I said I'm not gonna tell you where I'm from, but I live in PG County, Maryland. Like
we got you now, bro. We got you now.
But,
send them over, get them, head the people over.
But PG County is one of the more affluent black areas in the world. Well, yeah, in the country by them making it the world. But now let's say if I was down in Alabama and I got pulled over, I'm reciting every prayer I got. Why, like Lord, take my life, because that's a whole different ballgame.
All right, you guys got my brain.
So for me, I think that what I do, I stay in familiar places. Like I don't do much traveling.
Damn, that's crazy, right? Like, do you think a white dude has to think like that, right? And I say that because my friends always used to tell me when we were kids, you got the complexion for protection, and I never got pulled over on my own, right? I was always with the gang. When I'm with the guys, it's a problem. Maybe that's just not me, but I guess my question is, you feel like I got to stay in familiar places. But does Chad feel like that? Or does Chad feel like, you know what? I can go wherever I want to go. Like, I'm sorry, Chad, if you're watching.
I know Chad. He doesn't talk like that. Man, I got like a litany of questions here. Some controversial ones that are going through my head. What about the people who say, actually,
first, who are these people? And they don't matter.
Let me take a step back. Not everyone could code switch like us three, right? I've known you guys for a while. I've seen you speak. I've seen you code switch, right? Not many. Not a lot of black people either like to do it or want to do it, or can do it. If you kind of catch me. What about the people who don't cooperate?
Let me say that, because I think too, hitting on the idea of code switching, I think it's more than just two codes. You hear what I'm saying? I know a lot of codes. I speak a lot of languages, in English, and I think that's just something that is a skill you need to be able to win friends and influence people. You need to be able to speak to a lot of different audiences, so I'm not going to say anything to that person who can't, change the way they're talking from one context to the next, except that you need to improve your life skills, my friend. If you're going to win in this Monopoly game, you better be able to speak to more than one audience or have such a universal message that it crosses over all boundaries. And most motherfuckers ain't got that much to say. So I'm going to say you better learn the code or you're going to lose.
So does blame fall on that person that does not code switch?
No. Just because you can't speak it doesn't mean you should be whooped.
I think
at
the end of the day, wrong is wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes back to the initial thing that we've talked about is accountability, and that's what it is. There is no accountability. Even if you want to say that there are good cops out there, where are the good cops when bad cops do bad things? Like, where's the accountability? If there was one accountability, all this stuff would stop. But there isn't, because it's a gang. Gang.
Yeah. That's the truth, right?
You guys have exhausted my questions that I had
no reason
for the day. I mean, I could pull some other questions up if you guys,
Go ahead, throw them at us. Because
actually we did have a pre-show convo, and we did come up with this one question that I think is good for us to explore here. Should the government pay people to stay out of trouble? Would that help with police brutality?
Don't we already? Isn't that really how it's all set up? Like, you stay in the black as long as you don't commit crime. When you commit crime, we try to drive you into the red as fast as possible. We take your time, your money, we strip you of your credentials, your ability to work successfully in society. Like, that's the punishment, the crime and punishment. The punishment is you don't get to partake in these riches. Now, if you already not partaking in these riches, well, at that point, it's a societal problem, because this person isn't trying to deter them. So I guess you're right. You should pay people to stay out of trouble.
But you gotta say that again. Your internet kind of went out.
No, I was just gonna say, like, for the person who isn't already enjoying in the riches of society and feels, and they have nothing to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea of punishment isn't strong enough to stop them. My world's already messed up. So in that case, yeah, that's a societal problem. This person needs to be compensated. We need to keep them off the street. That's why you pay the social worker, but you probably need to split the money up between the person and the social worker.
So then, what you're saying, if I'm getting it correctly, is that investment in our underdeveloped communities would allow for there to be less run-ins with the cops, less situations where we have to feel like we have to cower almost because a cop comes around or whatever. Is that? I mean, is that
there need to be there need to be guided rails that are very difficult to fall off of between you being born into the society and being a contributing productive member of it. The problem is, so often there's no opportunity. They don't see the path. I don't know which way to go. I'm lost, right? So what do? They go and, go to where there's clearly no competitors for my work, and that's for robbing. I can steal from you, or I can steal from the financial market. I can scam, credit, whatever it is. I'm finding a way to circumvent the system to win. And in doing that, I have an opportunity there because I saw nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Steve,
I don't have anything to say.
cool. Would you trust the community to police yourself or police
No,
itself?
no. I
Well,
think we're screwed. No,
understand.
I think we're screwed because
No,
I think no.
you said that.
Hold on. Can I give my answer? Can I give my answer?
I don't want you to
I
do that.
You don't want me to get an answer. Like I'm going to tell you.
I need your answer, Steve. I need you.
I'm going to tell you. I think we're screwed regardless, right? I know it's a very cynical view, but we're screwed because what it is also is people are in it for selfish reasons. Like there'll still be some people to do whatever the hell they want. Like I can't trust people.
Comment below if Steve can trust you. Comment below.
Like I think it's the ultimate catch-22. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Billy, what do you think?
You know, I feel like me and Steve right now, like he is the glass is half empty. I'm a glass half full. I think overall we'll get to a point where, yeah, I think people's self-interest over the long term are aligned. You know, once you start realizing what we're really doing here, right? Like we're all just little, ants on this molehill. And we got to work together to keep building this thing, or otherwise it's going to rain and it's going to flood us all out, So if we don't work together and protect each other, we're going to lose.
So,
Steve,
to China.
Hold on.
We're going to lose to China.
Steve, I got a question.
Hold on. You can have a question after I say what I got to say.
I might forget the question.
Even though I view the glass as half full or as half empty, and Billy views it half full, I think it's important to note there's still something in the glass.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And I think that once we acknowledge something in the glass and we continue to live our lives, no matter what, it will be what it will be. Right. I think that independently, we do what we can to help out. Like I think that even though the police are crap, but I think that if we see somebody in need, we look to help those needs. So it's like, if we begin to help each other, I think that can make an influence. Will it change? Nah, I'm probably getting more optimistic. I don't know, but I think it's incumbent upon everybody to do something. And what we're doing today is talking.
I got a question. I just want to interject really quick. I know we're going deep into time here, but what about AI, right? Like, what about artificial intelligence? Like, can you how you walk into Amazon, the store, and the Amazon, store where you don't even have a cash register, you pick up a candy bar, you walk out, now you look at your phone, oh, they took $1.69 for this candy bar out, right? What about like, oh no, we saw you stole at Walmart, so we've debited you, or hey, even traffic lights, the red light cameras, right? Like these are small Internet of Things that are happening. But is that too much?
I know. I think that even with that, it could be this and that, but I think there are systemic problems that are just gonna expose the racist things in there, because the people who are gonna commit the crimes are the people who have none, who don't have it to give. So like they're forced by the constraints of their environments to commit crimes. So all it will be is just an avenue to people who are stuck in that vicious cycle to continue to be stuck in the vicious cycle.
Well, shit, Steve. Now you got me feeling like ain't nothing happening. You got me on the glass half empty.
I had a question, Steve, and you know what? You just went on your rant.
I know.
I told you I was going to lose it.
At what point do I get to say, follow me on Twitter at BlowStacks? Tell me what you think about it. Call me. If you think, call me ugly to my face. Don't just say it under your breath. Say it to my face.
Man, yeah, I'm racking my brain. I can't figure out the question that I had. But Steve, it seems like you just believe that we're just all doomed and we're never going to get out of this vicious cycle that we are in. Do you believe there's something that can happen that'll help us change?
No way.
Do I believe something can happen? I think there's probability in everything, right? I think there's probability in everything, but I think, is it likely for things to happen? No. Like the probability.
So what? I mean, do you have an actual tangible thoughts that you believe that if this thing happened, this will go ahead and change the
yeah. I think that for my Christian brethren out there on YouTube world, if Christ returns, we'll all be Gucci, right? But outside of that, no, I think we're doomed. Outside of that, we're all doomed because everybody, at some point in time, all of our elected officials, even whether they admit it or not, are all bought into this system where they think about self, they think about their bank accounts, they think about getting reelected, they want to be liked. But no one is willing, like you don't have people who have the courage, right, to be like, I will be a martyr for the cause, intentionally be a martyr for the cause. To be like, we must destroy the whole system to build it back up. Because if you go down as a martyr, what will happen is someone else will go out there and cop to whatever you wouldn't do to advance the movement of what is there before. So I think it's screwed regardless. If I were to play contrarian to my thought process, right? I think the way to solve this would be to create own individual communities. Look at the example of the Jews, right? The Jews, they have their own police, they have their own banks, they have their own this. I think that ideally it would be for Black people to have their own Black communities where they buy Black. So it's the people who they go to the Black church because you feed your soul. You go to Black grocery stores, you eat Black. You have Black police because if it's people that look like you have Black schools. This way you do educating. I'm not done yet. This way you educate people. So no, but you asking my thoughts. I'm giving you my thoughts. But I think that if the only way to fix the problem is to destroy the system and create a new system.
But then that kind of goes against what you were saying before, where you don't believe that, or you don't. Give me a second. Let me see what I'm saying.
But that's what I said. That's what I said. I said to play contrarian to what I said. Like I acknowledge that this is opposite to my belief. I said that in my initial statement.
I think your energy is appropriate for the moment. Let me not mince words there. It's appropriate, right? I'm with you. I don't know. I think over a long enough term, we figure stuff out.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nev. Ask your question.
Yeah, my question's done. My questions are done. You didn't.
Well,
go ahead.
So I call this the takeover segment where Steve takes over.
Let's go. Steve takes over. Steve
has been taking over for the past 20 minutes.
This is a takeover segment. Now, Nev, let me ask you this question.
Ask me the question.
What is good about the police?
What's good about the police? The police
domestic violence
helps with accountability.
They help with accountability?
Yeah.
So how do the police police themselves? How do the police police themselves?
I mean, I don't. You know the system a lot better than I do, to be honest. So I can't give you a very well thought out answer for that. To be truthful.
And that's why we're all screwed, because regular people like us don't know the system in and out. If we don't know it, we can't figure out how to change it. That's why we're all doomed.
Let me say this: you ain't no cop, Jay Reed. You ain't no cop, Jay Reed.
All right, guys. I think that's a good session. Guys, follow us on we don't have a Twitter page, but follow us on our channel. Subscribe. Would love to have more subscribers. Would love. I actually
Do
do
it today.
it today, like Billy's shirt. Would love for you guys to comment at the bottom. Please let us know how are we doing. Also, let us know what topics do you want us to talk about. What topics would you like to see Steve take over? What topics would you love to see Billy go into deep thought about? Would love for you guys to go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day and listening to us. Back by popular demand. Peace out.
Oh, peace.